Hello, fellow transportation professionals. My name is Vanessa Spartan, and I'm the Chief of Transportation Safety at Kansas DOT. I hope by the end of this video, you'll have a better understanding of some of what that includes at Kansas DOT. This video will highlight Kansas's safety management structure, as well as some of our recent noteworthy practices. I always like to start off with the numbers. Over the past 5 years, we've lost over 2,000 people to crashes on Kansas roads. In addition, more than 8,300 people have been seriously injured. For sake of time, I left off 2 slides. The first slide I usually include is a series of news articles and headlines highlighting the families and communities impacted by these life-altering crashes. The second slide I add is the economic impact to society. If we can eliminate fatal and serious injury crashes in Kansas, the societal impact is more than $5 billion each year. However, it's not all bad news. Particularly in the last 3.5 years, we've reduced fatal injury crashes. What's more, this year, we are down over 12% from the same period last year. So we're looking like we will have a 4th year of fatality reduction. In fact, over the last 5 years, we are down a total of 8% in all crashes in the state. That said, we're seeing an increase in serious injuries. So let's get back to how we manage safety at Kansas Department of Transportation. So we have a Bureau of Transportation Safety. We oversee all the federal and state safety set-asides. We also coordinate the safety management across 3 core federal and state required safety management responsibilities. This includes Federal Highway Administration's Highway Safety Improvement Program, NHTSA's programs, including the 402 and 405 programs, as well as the FARS agreement. And we are the state entity for crash reports, data, analysis, and reporting. Of all the U.S. states and territories, only 26% of DOTs, 15 of the 56, have all 3 safety management responsibilities. And here's why that matters. When it comes to measuring performance, we have 26 performance measures that we report annually. Additionally, we conduct project and program evaluations to improve effectiveness on program delivery. This is in addition to work we're doing such as special assessments, secondary analysis, stakeholder engagement, safety planning, program administration, the list goes on. So how do we help people to not get lost in those numbers? We identify a true north for everyone. The Drive to Zero initiative is our true north. It is our umbrella that encompasses everything safety management at Kansas DOT. It not only provides branding, but mission alignment. It provides a sense of purpose to the work of all of our stakeholders. It's used in all of our forums of safety communication and engagement. And why does this matter? Simply said, we all know there are not enough funds to engineer or enforce our way out of our safety issues. We have to focus on safety cultural influences to affect change. With the 4th largest road network in the U.S., but the 31st largest population, formula funding will never be enough for traffic safety. Even if funds were unlimited, traffic safety is an adaptive challenge with constant moving parts. The Drive to Zero creates that cultural influence because it requires a continued commitment and promise to aim for 0 lives lost to crashes. So in this video, I want to highlight a few quick noteworthy practices. The first being our organizational safety culture work that we're doing, our work to improve awareness and ownership, increasing engagement and partnerships, and lastly, how we're trying to localize the Drive to Zero initiative. So last year, we conducted a safety culture workshop where we focused both on internal safety culture as well as the programmatic integration of safety in the agency. We identified priorities and we developed improvement plans. One of the biggest outputs out of that effort was to establish a multi-division safety team. That group identifies, prioritizes, and advances the strategic safety initiatives across the DOT. Another big initiative that we have is our executive body known as the Drive to Zero Coalition. This group champions transportation safety in Kansas and on all public roads. The Drive to Zero Coalition members are traffic safety champions. At its core, this coalition understands that we are stronger and more effective when we work together than on our own. Nearly 30 individuals serve on the Drive to Zero Coalition and include executives from federal and state agencies, nonprofit organizations, private sector partners, and the Kansas House and Senate Transportation Committees. This slide highlights the member organizations, and each has a critical role in advancing the safe system in Kansas. While the Drive to Zero Coalition is our executive body, we also have strategy teams and support teams. The strategy teams each align with the safe system objective. They focus on the reoccurring circumstances and conditions that fatally and seriously injure the largest number of road users. And our support teams provide technical expertise to advance strategic initiatives. Each of these teams are meeting quarterly. In total, we engage around 200 stakeholders in these meetings. That means there's over 200 people that are leaning in, providing resources and skills to advance the mission. I want to highlight a couple high visibility activities we've done over the last 2 years. While we have over 200 campaign activities each year, these 2 events are our strategic engagement initiatives to get all of our stakeholders together and regularly discussing the Drive to Zero. The first being the Drive to Zero Day at the Capitol. Our next one is coming up in February, and it's a media event, open house, and networking. It is an opportunity for our legislative body to understand the multi-agency and organization work that's underway. The second is our annual transportation conference. This year will be in March in Wichita. Last year we had over 400 registrants, 19 concurrent sessions, 3 keynote plenary speakers, and for several years now, we've had regional coalition building discussions. I want to talk a little bit about the other work we're doing to expand partnerships. So I mentioned the coalition building that we're doing. We also have a network of high schools called our Safe High Schools that have a peer-to-peer learning and mentoring program. We're working with bike walk organizations. We have new partners in our safety corridors. We're working with our Safe Streets and Roads for All recipients. And we have a new network of partners through our Fans with the Plan. This is but a sampling of the expanded partnerships that we have in our state. From safety coalitions to event activities, we are expanding the Drive to Zero brand awareness and influencing the traffic culture. The 2 images below are a sampling of information from our Fans with the Plan campaign activity, where we are getting great partnership results from sports, festival, and event venues, as well as sports radio. For example, we're regularly seeing non-traditional stakeholders like bars and restaurants resharing social media posts about the Fans with the Plan options that are available in their area. Like all state highway safety offices, we offer a variety of high visibility campaigns, and we continue to get creative on how to improve our engagement with targeted audiences. One thing we started more than 3 years ago was using social norming influences in the messaging and campaigns where it's possible. I'm going to share 2 newer campaign strategies of our State Highway Safety Office on the next 2 slides. For our May 2024 seatbelt campaign, we went beyond our traditional advertisement methods and entered into name, image, and likeness agreements with 14 college athletes that are social media influencers. We asked that they do a less than 1-minute video reel and talk about why they wear a seatbelt. While this is our first foray into using social media influencers, the quality of engagement was great. Those 14 influencers and their 1-minute or less videos had 162 unique comments, over 3,000 likes, and more than 43,000 views. Now that you know to look for the Drive to Zero brand, you might see our campaigns in news on billboards and social media or hear an ad on the radio. I want to highlight the front seat interviews and more specifically the Drive Safe Cedric campaign because it won 3 awards from the American Advertising Association. If you have a moment, you might check them out at this website. This campaign shows the power of testimonials to help people understand that traffic safety is ultimately about people. As I mentioned earlier, we have the 4th largest transportation network, and most of that mileage is on the local road system. What's more, 60% of our fatal and serious injury crashes are on the local system. While KDOT has no authority over the local roads, we can encourage safety-conscious decision-making through programs, tools, and other resources. We're using forums of targeted engagement to help us both share our statewide initiatives and to hear about local safety goals and issues, and so we can help communities to find the resources for their goals. The next few slides are just some of the recent examples. Through the Kansas Infrastructure Hub, we were able to provide local match and technical support for the Safe Streets and Roads for All recipients in Kansas. To date, we have more than 45 recipient organizations, and 80% of the population is covered by one of these SS4A projects. We saw the SS4A opportunity as a strategic one for our state. These plans, combined with the 103 county local road safety plans, provide us with a long list of safety needs from local agencies that will help us prioritize improvements for decades to come. What's great is that the needs will be data informed and prioritized by local political will. Over the last 2 years, we've stood up data and analysis tools. We've made them available to the public. Crash data is inherently complex and can be easily misunderstood. Crash data can be a barrier to safety-conscious decisions. So these dashboards help transportation professionals, decision makers, and stakeholders, and the general public to understand the nature, frequency, and distribution of crashes in their communities. In short, the dashboards empower everyone to make safety-conscious decisions. We believe that the combination of robust data analysis and providing technical and financial resources to our safety stakeholders will improve safety performance in Kansas. The bottom image is our Vulnerable Road User Safety Assessment tool that I will demonstrate next. The VRU SA tool goes beyond our standard crash data and includes findings of the Vulnerable Road User Safety Assessment, including priority corridors for non-motorized safety countermeasures. Kansas completed our Vulnerable Road User Safety Assessment in 2023, and we found that 85% of the high injury network was on local roads. Therefore, providing resources and support to local agencies would be critically important to improving vulnerable road user safety performance in Kansas. Following completion of our safety assessment and the tool, KDOT leveraged the funding opportunity made available through the bipartisan infrastructure law to use the Highway Safety Improvement Program funds to provide match support on transportation alternatives projects. Through those transportation alternative project solicitations, local agencies are encouraged to use the tool and to apply for safety improvements on a priority corridor. If the project meets both the AICP and the TA eligibility, the local match support can be covered by AICP. I'll wrap this video with providing a high-level synopsis of our philosophy of safety performance management. Safety is ultimately a byproduct of the transportation system and the choices that we make as transportation professionals. We need to think about how we can encourage or incentivize the choices that we want others to make. To affect safety performance in any state requires coordination across multiple entities and partner types. Safety culture is a critical foundation to get all of our partners mission aligned. Expanding that brand awareness and our mission visibility sustains momentum and supports the identification of new partners. Lastly, sharing data and analysis in an easy-to-use format helps everyone to make safety-conscious decisions. Thank you for your time today. If you want to learn more about some of our initiatives of the Drive to Zero, you can find information online or you can contact me personally. Enjoy the rest of the peer exchange.